Alright, so this video we're talking about the environment variables for Windows 10. Alright, now last video we were talking about how I could just do a on command prompt, it didn't have to be any specific folder, I could type out PuTTY and it launches the PuTTY window for connection purposes. Alright, which is all wonderful and great. However, not all programs work like that. So right now I'm in the Notepad++ folder, and if I do type out Notepad++, it will run, as you can see there. But if I go ahead and change my folder, if I just go back one folder structure, I went back to the beginning, but it doesn't matter. If I run that now, it says not recognized as an internal or external command. So it's searching through all of its known locations for files that are allowed to run like this, and it's saying, nope, can't find that. All right. So we need to go ahead and add that. We'll add that location to the list. We're going to actually add that in one other part. All right. So to do that, we are going to use the sysdm.cpl command. You can do that in a command file. You could do that down in the search. Doesn't really matter where we're doing it from. And that brings up our system properties. Now, we have the 5 tabs across the top. What we really care about in this case is the Advanced tab. All right, and then more importantly, we care about the Environment Variables button at the bottom. So when we click on that, you will see that there are 2 different sections to the screen. We have the user variables at the top. We have the system variables at the bottom. All right. Now, the system variables, these will affect all users on your computer, where the user will only affect you specifically. Now, this could be causing a problem where you're like, oh, I can do it on my user, why can't you do it? Well, your user variables path have been modified, not the system variables. So, if we go into my path down here under the system and I look at that one, any user can type in that PuTTY command and it will work just fine. All right, not all of them. Same with Calibri and OpenSSH and those types of things. So those have been added to all users. If I come look at my local one, all right, QEMU, which is a virtualization software for running virtualized Windows or Linux, whatever on my computer, will only be affected to my specific user if there were multiple users on this account. So to each their own is really what this comes down to. Now, we are going to add, well, I'm going to add Notepad++ because it makes sense to me. But we also are going to add a scripts folder for us, so that way, as you guys are making your scripts, as long as you save them to one specific folder, they will work without you having to type in the entire file path every single time. So, first I'm going to go ahead and add the Notepad++ one. So, if you only have one path in here, so I only had this top one, if you didn't, or if you didn't have anything here, you would see something that looks like this. All right, and what you have to do is a semicolon between all of those things. All right, so you can see from C there is my first one. And then I have another one located after that. So if I go ahead and hit edit, you'll see there are those 2. And then I have another one for Windows apps, it looks like. So then I have my QEMU one. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and do a new one. Now you have to give it something, all right, before we can do it the easy way of browsing. So I'm just going to call it X for now. And then we're going to go ahead and do browse. And then we're going to go to my C drive, my program files, my notepad folder. That's all I need. And go ahead and hit OK. And you see it change that X to the location now. So if I go ahead and hit OK, I can come back here. And now if I do that Notepad++, that should have worked. Hold on one second. So after a little bit of fisticuffs with me and my computer, it turns out all I had to do was exit out a command prompt, and now it does work. So if I go ahead back to my new command prompt that I just opened, and I hit enter, it will just open up just fine. All right. So that is something just to be aware of, that you can't have terminal open, update those, and then automatically have it work. Terminal has to be reloaded, sorry, not terminal. Command prompt has to be reloaded so that way it knows about the new system paths. So that is something to think about. So anyway, we did just add that, we added Notepad++ to that. I told you though that we want to add another file. So we're going to go ahead back to that environmental variables, bring this down here. We go to my path, you'll notice there's my Notepad++. We're going to go ahead and do a new one. Again, just put something in there. Could be any letter. Then we're going to browse. Now, since you guys probably only have one hard drive, I'm going to tell you guys to do the C drive. I have multiple hard drives, and I'm going to use my data drive. No, I'm going to use my media drive instead. My media is just my biggest hard drive, so that's where I've been putting a lot of stuff recently. And I already have a folder created called scripts. If you do not, you could use that make new folder button right there. But go ahead, scripts. I'm going to go ahead and OK that. OK. And OK. And we can go ahead and exit out of that. And now let's go ahead and see if I have anything in there, which I do. I have this n.bat file. All right. So right now, obviously, if I just hit enter, it's just going to open Notepad. All right. I can actually type in, I could say n, and then I could say test.bat. Give this a little argument for my syntax, and it's going to pop up a notepad and says can't find that file, do you want to create it? I'm going to say yes, and I can close. And now if I do a dir command, you'll see that I now have my test.bat file located in there. Now this has all been with me already in the scripts file, so let's just go back to my C drive. If I type n and I hit enter, is anything going to happen? Take a quick guess. It doesn't. All right, remember, you have to reload terminal. So let me go ahead, close out of that, reopen up terminal here. And now, come on. There we go. Now if I type n and hit enter, it all works just fine. All right. Now, if I give it this argument, it is going to create a new file in my current folder. So again, let me go ahead and change to the links folder, because there shouldn't be much in there, so it's very easy to see the file I'm creating. So I'm going to call it n-test2.bat. All right, yeah, go ahead and create it. Let me close out. Type dir again. All right, and you can see there is my test2. So this isn't going to be in that scripts folder, so I can't just automatically type test2 now in to see if it's going to work. We need to either move it to there or type it, running it now would be fine because I'm located in that folder. But if I was in a different folder and this wasn't located there, wouldn't work. All right. Now, if you're going to create something on the C drive, make sure you've given everybody who deserves access to that file access. All right, because if they don't have access, things aren't going to work properly. So make sure you go check your folder permissions for those types of things. You guys will be creating some bat files for this class later on. And that will actually be the topic of our next video. So see you soon.